Hello everyone and welcome to my weekly reading wrap up. So this week I managed to finish 2 books which I was really happy about. I also gave both of them 4 stars, so it has been a pretty good reading week for me. So the first one that I managed to finish this week is a recently released adult contemporary book called The Curious Heart of Elsa by Stephanie Butland, and I was drawn to this book because the blurby summary thing said that it is for fans of Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and I read that book last year and absolutely loved it. So this is the story of a young girl called Elsa. She is 28, and when she was born she only had 3/4 of her heart, and she's had operation after operation. She's been in and out of hospital, and her whole life she has had this impending cloud of death over her. She feels that death is obviously really coming fast for her because of her illness, and then when she's 28 she is lucky enough to get a heart transplant, and suddenly this cloud isn't there anymore, and it's all about her trying to learn how to be alive and a proper living person, and learning that being alive is a lot more than just waiting for death, basically. And Elsa has a blog, and in her blog she posts polls for pretty much every decision in her life. So her blog readers pretty much make every decision for her via these polls, and it's all about her learning to step back from that and taking ownership of her own decisions. She picks up a lot of new hobbies. She starts tango dancing, she starts getting to know a guy, she starts looking for her biological father who she's never known all that much about. It's just a really sweet contemporary about this woman learning what it is to be alive at the age of 28 and doing all of these new things. It's really funny, really sweet, and yeah, really lovely message at the heart of it. So definitely pick it up if it sounds like your kind of thing. I don't think I liked it as much as Eleanor Oliphant, because Eleanor Oliphant is a character that I am still thinking about all of the time, and I read that book ages ago because I had an arc of it from NetGalley. So I think it's probably actually almost a year since I read Eleanor Oliphant, and I still can't stop thinking about that woman. She's just such a memorable character, and I didn't feel quite that way about Elsa, but I still did really like her, but she's just not as memorable as Eleanor. But it is still a really lovely story, and I can definitely see how somebody made the comparison between this book and Eleanor Oliphant. So yeah, check it out if you are an Eleanor Oliphant fan, but also check it out just obviously if it sounds like your kind of thing. The second book that I managed to finish this week is Out of the Blue by Sophie Cameron, and this is a YA fantasy dystopian kind of story. This was on my most anticipated releases for this year. This is about a girl called Jaya whose mother had a terrible accident and died before the action of this book, and not long after her mother's death these angelic beings start falling from the sky all over the world. They call them beings because I think there's obviously Christian connotations surrounding the word angel, and they're not entirely sure exactly where these things are coming from, but they are essentially angels. Like, they're described as angels. They are humans with wings and glowing skin and all the rest of it, but they call them beings. And Jaya's father gets obsessed with this crazy phenomenon that is happening, and he wants to be the person who discovers the next being when it falls, and he's made calculations based on all of the other falls that the next one will be falling in Edinburgh. So he uproots Jaya and her sister to Edinburgh so that he can be there when this angel falls from the sky. And Jaya makes friends with twins in Edinburgh called Ali and Callum, and Ali and Callum are very much of the cause that they want to protect these beings from being exploited, because a lot of people are trying to make money from the feathers from their wings, and they want to obviously run experiments to kind of work out exactly what they are and things like that. And one day when Jaya is walking the dog in Edinburgh, this being falls at her feet, and this being is alive. All of the other beings that have fallen all over the world have been dead, and Jaya doesn't really know what to do, but she doesn't want to hand this being over to anyone that might hurt her or exploit her, so she hides her in an empty flat. And basically it's all about Jaya trying to work out exactly what she's going to do in this situation. She starts to really care for this being. This being is really, really sweet. She can't really seem to communicate or understand anything that Jaya is saying, but during the day when Jaya can't be there with her, she leaves the radio on in this flat, and this being picks up random phrases from like songs and radio adverts and things like that. So all of a sudden she'll come out with things like terms and conditions apply and every little helps and like a chorus of call me maybe and things like that. It's really, really funny just to imagine this beautiful angel coming out with these random phrases. So I really enjoyed that whole aspect of it. There is a little bit of a love story with Jaya and somebody that she falls in love with. LGBT elements are thrown in there as well. Lovely, lovely story ultimately about Jaya and her family learning to let go, learning to deal with their grief. The ending is definitely not one for somebody who likes all of their questions answered, because I definitely had questions at the end of this book, but it was a really beautiful, uplifting story and a lovely ending. I thought it was a lovely ending anyway, but definitely if you like your stories to be all nicely wrapped up, I probably wouldn't recommend this book, because there are lots of questions left over at the end that I think obviously you're supposed to make your own mind up about. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. As I said, I gave it 4 stars, so yeah, give that a go if it sounds like your kind of thing. So those are the books that I finished this week, and I'm going to be starting 2 books later on today. One of those is Watchmen, the graphic novel by Alan Moore. So this is one of my real life best friend's favourite comic graphic novel things. She is a huge, huge comic nerd, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this and seeing what all of the fuss is about. I have seen the film, but she said the film is crap compared to the source material, so yeah, really looking forward to getting into this one later on today. And also finally later on today I am going to be starting Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. This is a YA fantasy set in West Africa. That's pretty much all I know. I think there's an uprising involved, but yeah, really, really intrigued by this one because I've heard absolutely nothing but incredible things about it. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this one later on today. And that is it for my weekly wrap up. What have you read recently? Please let me know. What are you currently reading? I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.